Earlier this year, I was talking about a troll, and I want to elaborate on that right now. Since the year is almost over, I think it's a good time to discuss this. So, I have mentioned the commentary community and the likes of Def Noodles and H3. And believe it or not, this troll was connected to the H3 and Def Noodles community from what I was able to find publicly. Now, Def Noodles is a whole nother story, and I definitely gotta make an update on him. Going back to the story, he went from that PC side of commentary to the more edgier free speech side. Once Def Noodles went over to this side, a lot of his fans followed suit as well. Some fans straight up disowned Def Noodles as it was not the Def Noodles that they knew. However, this troll, she knew no limits. She was more about free speech, only when it was convenient to her though, as she would do a lot of code switching because people knew how she really was. Def Noodles had this Discord server where it was pure chaos. There was a lot of censorship and so much madness. And this troll wanted to have some proximity with Def Noodles, as she gets pretty parasocial with a lot of creators. But Def Noodles moderators were not letting her have it. I actually did stumble in Def Noodles Discord server just out of curiosity, and yeah, it was really hell. But this was also the first time I met and ran into this troll. It really seemed that she wanted attention and she wanted to have some sort of power when it comes to content creators communities. And when she wouldn't have her way and they would censor her, she would instigate drama. This is when I and others would find out more about her when she would start to leak DMs to instigate drama on Twitter. This caused the server to just get wiped out and disappear. This is also when Def Noodles would rebrand and disappear in the internet for a while. When she did not get her way in this community, she went out to other communities and fan bases to do the same thing. This is when my mutuals and I ran into her multiple times. I will admit, at this time, we did not know she was gaslighting and flipping the narrative that would benefit her. It wasn't until she went into my circle and I saw how she treated and gaslighted, instigated drama, where I saw how toxic she was. This raised a lot of questions and we didn't really know what happened, but we just let it go. After a while, we saw more people in commentary start sharing screenshots from Discord and just show her doing the same thing with trying to instigate drama, gaslight, and just be toxic as possible. And I was completely flabbergasted seeing her still doing this stuff. Prior to any of this, I didn't really have any interactions with her. It wasn't until I saw that she decided to go after a teen for some reason, say some of the most vile things, where I decided to put my foot down and confront her. Now, she's from Brazil, but she somehow decided to threaten to call CPS over this teen in America. There were so many other things that she said, but I can't really say it on here, as TikTok would probably not allow it. Once I confronted her, this just turned into a rabbit hole. Here are some examples I want to show you. It's a TikTok edit I made of our greatest hits of interactions. As you guys can see, it's probably some of the most craziest things, and I've never met anybody like this, and I normally am not a confrontational person, so this was all a one-of-a-kind experience. After this is where it gets crazier. Apparently, I don't know why, but the community and circle group she was around, they conspired to betray her. I got no idea what was going on, but she is really insufferable that even the people around her can't stand her. After this, she was going wild. She was hella confused. She even went to me, so after everything we went through, and me being one of her biggest ops, she still went to me to find some sort of validation, I guess. I don't know why, but yeah, this situation is crazy and doesn't make sense. Again, things went quiet for a while. I swear to God, she's got to be you are the company that you keep. As she found community with one of the most questionable small commentators who is pretty controversial, would have some of the strangest and questionable people around him. If I were to put it together, I would say it's the rejects of the rejects. Somewhere around the dark corner of the internet, but not that dark. By her logic, she went all the way from Def Noodles to, man, some of the most terminally online degenerates you can think of. As you would expect, a lot of drama would be reignited because, to be honest, in commentary, there's always going to be drama. But this small commentator decided to say whatever and that just resulted in him fading into oblivion, taking her with him. I don't know if Brazil still has Twitter banned, but once they announced this was her bread and butter, and they were basically gonna take that away from her. She was coping and seething and ended with this banger. And that was that story. I want to get into the aftermath. A debate and topic of discussion was her age, as she is believed to be around 40 or 50, acting like a fool on the internet. They even call her catfish too, and this isn't really to attack anybody on their looks. I don't really sleep that low. I just point this out because when it came to other women, she would have this animosity and jealousy towards them, especially if a lot of them were younger and were getting more attention than her. Definitely not your girl's girl. I know the word pick me is thrown around, but I think she really fits the description. Now, regarding the fellas, she would always be around 20 and 19, 18 year olds. And that's just flat out weird for somebody around her age range, which would be, like I said, 40 through 50s. And she was never really completely honest. She would always lie and would try to be mysterious for some reason. And she would, for some reason, have a bias towards the fellas. You guys know what I went through with her, but other women who barely had any interactions with her and had one thing that bothered her, it could be like a tiny thing, she would find a way to make it personal. Even then, she seemed like she wanted to, in a way, befriend me in a strange way. But when it came to other women that she had problems with, she was shown no mercy and would hold on to that grudge. To be honest, there really isn't a solid answer why this happened as well. And I guess I could say it probably would have been better if I never interacted with her in the first place. Whether you were her friend, enemy, or in between, there was always chaos involved. I for sure knew what I was getting myself into, but overall, I just don't think it's a really healthy place to be in for a while. Personally, I just was observing a lot of the behavior because I have never seen anything like this. Keep in mind as well, this is barely scratching the surface. There was like a lot of stalking, trolling. Things would get way too personal. She would make things way too personal. She would threaten to like leak personal info as well. She even doxed at some point as well. But I think that's that. That's the story of the troll that I dealt with. Overall, I'm really happy that I just distanced myself from that whole community in general. I'm still cool with some people and I don't want to box them all in, but I like focusing on things that seem more productive and that will work in the long term.